Let's get ready to rumble!
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
That nigga literally did. He got hit with an overhead move. I've never been down to spar.
He never hurt you?
Down in the spar,
he never hurt you?
No shit.
Hold on.
Hey, the nigga touch you with them 8 ounces. I promise you that smile gonna wipe over your face.
Africa, he never hurt you?
Madison Square Garden. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson press conference. Keyshawn Davis and Richardson Hitchins turned up. Richardson is still the IBF 140-pound champion. He was going back and forth with Keyshawn, another clickbait title from a media outlet, and saying it gets physical. Well, it didn't really. It got animated, but it didn't get physical. It was relatively cordial. And they're talking about Norfolk, March 2026. Well, that's what Keyshawn was saying. And Eddie Hearn, you know, got his face all in the video, dancing. And like, right now, the American fight scene is like shooting fish in a barrel for Eddie Hearn. There's not much competition trying to stage these fights. So he's got a free run at the market right now. What has happened to Top Rank? How have they not found a home? It's not like Bob Arum is Ben Shalom. He should have found a secure home by now for them to broadcast boxing. Maybe they don't want it no more. Maybe they're looking at the market and saying, what's the point? I mean, Tio is still contracted with Top Rank. It's not like a purse bid situation where Eddie put in a bid like he did for Teofimo versus Kambosos. And when Triller had to jump out, Matchroom got the fight. No. Top Rank are just like, they'll take their cut from out of Tio's purse and let Matchroom promote it. They're just taking what money they can get from DAZN right now. They don't have to worry about no production costs, trying to promote the fight. Turkey, he's doing his first gig with Inoue versus Picasso in December in Riyadh. And once again, Top Rank could just sit back and say, well, just give us our cut. But when the fighters run out of contract, that money's gone. That's going to run out. Then what? So Muratalla will have to give up some of his purse when he takes on Andy Cruz, 24th of January next month. I don't know when his contract's up, but are any of these fighters who Top Rank ain't really doing no work for going to re-sign with them? Probably not. They're going to look to head over to DAZN, most of them. I mean, Muratalla's the champion. You bid $550,000, Top Rank. Cruz is the challenger. They bid $880,000. That was just a perfunctory purse bid, basically. They weren't trying to win that bid. Just give us our cut. Raymond.
There's been rumours online that Richards and Hitchins will fight Jermaine Ortiz. Can you confirm or deny?
I can't confirm it, no. There are conversations with ourselves and Ring for Hitchins to fight on this card. He's from New York. He's a world champion. He's in the same weight class as SHAKUR and Teofimo. Yeah, nothing to confirm on the undercard yet, but expect it imminently.
Will you re-sign Richardson Hitchins?
Yeah, I made it quite clear I wasn't happy with the comments. That's history now. I had a good meeting with Keith Connolly this morning because obviously we're talking about Conor Benn and Hitchins as well. And we want to move forward and we expect to do so. It's got to be right for everyone. As I said before, you know, it's not just it's got to be right for Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. It's got to be right for Richardson Hitchins. But he needs our backing. We could have wrapped this up a lot earlier for a longer term deal, but we didn't. Things were said. I think it was played badly. That's in the past. He's an important fighter in American boxing. He's a big fighter for the 140-pound division. He's a guy that's going to be moving to 147. We've done a huge amount of groundwork with him, and we expect to work with him in the future moving forward.
Hitchins declared he's a free agent after he stopped Kambosos in June. Obviously, Keith Connolly coerced him to say that. Eddie wasn't impressed because Matchroom and DAZN invested a lot in Hitchins, and they did a good job for him. Eddie's exact quote, there's a few of them, but here's one of them. I did feel disrespected because it's not him. It's just dogs around him talking about Keith Connolly. But Keith thought he was going to go directly to Turkey and become a player. It's not that easy. But shortly after, Turkey allows Sheik, we will only work with Matchroom. Your management or yourself will not be able to do any deals. And that's why now Keith Connolly and Hitchins, let's keep it real, tail between their legs, running back to Matchroom. Keith Connolly will have to work a lot harder before he gets in a position to deal with Turkey. A whole lot harder. He'd have to do way more than manage a couple of fighters from the tri-state. There's only a couple of fighters who work directly with Turkey. Terence and Soal. There's not much others. You got Devin and Dollar Bill, his dad. But after the last performance against Brian Norman, according to Eddie Hearn, Turkey wasn't too pleased. So we'll have to see how that one goes. They've managed to get some traction being free agents. Most of the other boxers, they talk about it, but it's way harder to put into practice than it is theory. Like another Keith Connolly managed fighter, Edgar Berlanga, when his contract ran out with MATCHROOM.
I'm gonna be a free agent after this fight. I don't want to do no extensions. I'm a star. I'm a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I want to make my own moves. I want to do what we got to do for ourselves, you know, without having nobody behind me acting like they my boss.
Now look at you now.
Turkey can't deal with all the headaches because these managers and fighters start getting egos. Oh, we're free agents, we're players, we're big players, and it just makes business much harder to do. And the goal for the likes of Hitchins is to get on Riyadh season. That's the goal. And Keith Connolly knows he made a big mistake, and he's doing the right thing, trying to patch it up with MATCHROOM. He's doing the right thing. From what Eddie was saying there's a chance that Hitchins will be on the undercard at Madison Square Garden, when Shakur takes on Teofimo Lopez for that WBO title. But look, back to Keyshawn versus Hitchins. Hitchins is ready, but I'm not so sure about Keyshawn. He blew his title summer this year, missed the weight by 4 pounds 3 ounces when he was set to defend against Edwin De Los Santos. What was that all about? Spoke about retiring. I don't know if he actually retired, but he was saying retirement is so peaceful. What does he mean by that? I'll tell you what he means by that. He's having a good time, spending his money, probably doing a bit of womanizing, and definitely doing some herbalizing. And while he's retired, he doesn't have to worry about someone coming around his yard to come test him and his urine and blood come up like Bob Marley. I'm not sure if March is enough time for Keyshawn to get his mind and body right to face Richardson Hitchins, who I don't believe is on the weed. And right now he's focused on getting that bag. So that means he's in the gym all the time, in shape. And at 140, it's not the foregone conclusion that a lot of you think that Keyshawn will roll over Hitchins because, yes, we can compare the common opponent. Keyshawn brushed off Lemos in 2, and arguably Lemos beat Richardson. Then Keyshawn brushed off Berencic to become WBO champion. You know, Richardson got his first stoppage in a while this year when he stopped George Kambosos. But at 140, this is no cakewalk for Keyshawn. I would argue that Hitchins will be his most difficult assignment as a pro. Definitely so. I'm not sure if that fight happens in March. It might happen next year, but not March. Hitchins turned up to put his face in the frame to fight the winner out of Shakur and Teo. That's what he turned up for. Whatever popped off with him and Keyshawn was just extras. The thing that stuck with me was Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. When they were going back and forth, they're both saying they're going to win, obviously. And then Shakur said, paraphrasing, "You don't pose no threat to me. I've got you beaten already. Only thing I see is you're muscular." And I tapped into that as well. Like, Teo looks very shredded. Shakur, he looks softish. And I'm thinking, with them fragile hands, and perhaps not being as physically mature as Teo, I'm not so sure about my pick no more. I'm not so sure.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
I keep getting asked about Moses Zuma fighting Alexander Usyk and fighting other big names. My opinion is someone who has been there and won every single belt, won everything there is to win in boxing, and done very well. Boxing is a young man's game. Like I told Vladimir Klitschko when he was 37, boxing's a young man's game and he waits for nobody. So here's the opinion. You've heard it here first. Moses Zuma will wreck all them old men out of the division. Usyk, AJ, Miller, whoever there is who's old, Zhang, Luis Ortiz, all these big names of the past are all a spent force. And even the world champion now, if they took my belts and give them to Usyk, Moses will wreck him because he's a young man versus an old man. And old men can't mess with young men.
He mentioned a lot of old men who Moses would wreck, but he didn't mention himself. And the first thing I thought about this week when I heard that he's going to return to the ring was that quote that he made a few months back. Because he's not going to get the Usyk fight next year. He's not. If Usyk skips over his mandatories to fight Wilder, then Fury for a third time, I'm not saying it's going to hurt his legacy, but it's going to make Usyk very unpopular. I'm not sure if that's a road he's going to go down. Who is Fury going to fight next year if Usyk is on the table? Is he going to fight someone younger than him? And that snippet I just played comes back to bite him in the ass. Nah, he's not going to fight anyone dangerous. AJ's not fighting anyone dangerous in Jake Paul. And the most important thing for both men is to clear out their next few fights, and then they have that massive showdown. Fury, he's not going to fight no ranked contenders because there's no world title fight at the end of it. He's not trying to be interim champion for one of the sanctioning bodies and wait for his title shot. No, he's going to take a relatively easy fight, and then obviously it's either the big bag against AJ or he'll take another tune-up and lobby for the Usyk fight. That's what he's going to do. I see some outlets going through the whole Queensbury roster. He's going to challenge Fabio for the WBO title. No, Fabio punches too hard. Fury might box his head off. And all it's going to take is Fabio to get one of them Bruce Banner moments where he turns green and his clothes can't fit him. And then next thing, Fury's on the canvas. He's not going to take that fight. Too risky. Risk reward rules out that fight. Itoma, Lawrence Okoli were other names that were mentioned. You heard what he said about Moses, about the young dudes clearing out the older guys. He's not going to go nowhere near Moses. The Lawrence Okoli fight, it's a horrible style matchup. If I was advising Fury, I wouldn't go nowhere near it. Fury style and Okoli style, no. Don't blend them styles. It's likely to be a stinker. How many times has Fury retired, then decided to come back? Second defeat to Usyk 2024. He stated he's been punched for the last 25 years. What do I want to go back to boxing for? It used to be for money, titles, but now he's got more money than he can spend. He's got unlimited amounts of belts and titles, and it doesn't make him any happier. You could offer him $1 billion today, and it wouldn't move the needle, because he's gone past this point of caring about what other people think. 2022, after he defeated Dillian Whyte, he informed us that the third fight with Wilder in 2021 left him with a concussion, massive swellings, and lumps the size of fists at the back of his head. He feared brain damage, which prompted him to briefly retire after he beat Dillian. He said it wasn't the Dillian fight that made him retire, it's the Wilder fight from the previous year. And all I'm saying is, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf with all these retirements. Plenty of fighters have said, yeah, I'm going to retire, and didn't retire. And then in their advancing years, we saw the damage they accumulated. Muhammad Ali. He's already said he's made all this money. He's won all the titles. The only person he needs to convince now is himself. And is he going to get caught out like plenty of fighters, great fighters have got caught out? Fury's a great fighter. Sugar Ray Robinson, he retired in 1952 after losing to Joey Maxim. Came back 3 years later, won the title, lost it again, regained it after beating Carmen Basilio in 1958, then retired, came back again, retired 1965. Then came the onset of Alzheimer's disease related to his boxing career. And when boxers break down why they don't need to box, they've got money, they've done all this, they've done all that, and then continue to do it, they're going to catch themselves out one day. I think from now, Fury better either box or just retire and make sure the next retirement sticks. Zuffa Boxing launch date. Mark Shapiro has revealed that Zuffa Boxing is planning its first show as part of their new venture with Paramount Plus on January the 23rd, the day before TKO launches their new UFC deal, UFC 324 on Paramount Plus on January the 24th. Big up Everything Boxing. Somebody commented, back-to-back debuts give Paramount a surge in trial sign-ups, retention, and marketing efficiency. Combat sports is becoming their anchor content strategy. Everything Boxing replies, also better for everyone to do events on back-to-back days in the same city with the same broadcasters. The boxing will be able to piggyback off the UFC publicity. The US Congress held a meeting to introduce Bill H.R. 4624, the proposed Muhammad Ali American Boxing Revival Act, which TKO seeks to have passed as an amendment to the current Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act. Should the proposal gain full approval, promoters such as Zuffa Boxing would then have the power to operate as a unified boxing organization, UBO. It would not have to comply with the Ali Act provided that it carries the stipulations outlined in the amendment, such as a minimum purse structure, per round. You can't leave the ring without a purse, which a lot of boxing fans and media are just pushing to the side like it's not a huge problem in not just American boxing, but British boxing, world boxing. The amount of fighters who risk their lives in there and don't even bring home a penny, forced into ticket deals. And that's not defending Dana, that's not none of that. I'm saying fighters going home with no purse is a bigger issue than them having to see the spreadsheet to see how much the promoter's TV deal is worth. The UBO will also offer insurance cover, anti-doping and anti-betting policies. So for now, Zuffa will have to operate in accordance with the current Ali Act. Dana White, though, has claimed that TKO's success doesn't necessarily hinge on the passing of the proposed amendment to the Ali Act. Now, fuck all the media social justice warriors. I'm sick of going back and forth about this Muhammad Ali Act. I'm sick of it. The Muhammad Ali Act is still available for fighters who don't want to fight under the UBO construct. I'm going to start talking about the fights. What they need to do is announce who is fighting, who's headlining, who's chief support, prelim. Let's get some boxing talk going instead of all this Muhammad Ali Act stupidness. They did sign Vito Melniki Jr., 22-1-0. He won last time out on the undercard of Devin versus Brian Norman. He's a candidate to be headlining the first show. Callum Walsh, Brandon Adams, they're three names I know. And what I have noticed, it's normally the elder boxing fans or media who are just sick of all this Dana White, Muhammad Ali talk. Absolutely sick of it. I know some of my subs are sick of it. They just want to see if the product is any good. They couldn't give back anything else.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.